When Jack finally gets back from Chicago, Adam has a showdown with Victor and Billy. In today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Summer is shocked by Diane's new plan, Victor and Adam argue about being fathers, and Abby stops a fight at society. Currently, Diane and Jeremy can be found at the Glam Club. He thinks it's hilarious that she planned to break into Nikki's Chicago apartment in order to steal a piece of jewelry. Jeremy hopes to accomplish the mission with her. She insists that her complex plan can function without any outside input. She is mystified as to his motivations if he is willing to risk it. If he wants assurances that she means business, he should let her complete the task he set. For her, the reward is hearing Nikki's screams of horror. It will give her something to show her appreciation for him with, and it will ensure her continued devotion to him. Eventually, Jeremy caves and invites her to his room for a drink before bed. Diane assures him she has a tight schedule, but will let him know as soon as she returns. Summer descends the staircase at the Abbott mansion after putting Harrison to bed. She tells Kyle she is worried about staying in the country instead of going to Paris. He is anxious around her grandfather and admits that he has asked the man to ensure that Adam does poorly in his Jobot class. She is shocked that her grandfather would even consider helping Victor, let alone hurt his own son. Kyle notes that Adam has a checkered past, and that Jack's fondness for him is puzzling. She's worried that him getting close to Victor is the first step toward something worse. With Diane's arrival, Summer immediately begins her rant about the Stark family situation. Diane assures them that she will finally be able to put the last painful part of her past behind her if everything goes according to plan. Jack bursts in, clad in his burglar blacks, brandishing the necklace he stole from Nikki's safe. Summer can't believe they would steal from her grandmother. Jack assures Nikki that they are only borrowing the item temporarily and that she will be given it back. This is not well received. When Summer discovers grand larceny, she becomes distraught and tells her husband to stay out of it. Both Kyle and the rest of the team chase after her as she runs away. Diane explains to Jack that she is very sorry that she has caused the family so much stress. She appreciates his efforts so much that she's willing to go to such lengths. Still, she has an important part to play, he says, and she must be able to persuade others. They've made a commitment to always have each other's backs. Jack has discovered a new, very appealing side to her, a bravery he had not anticipated. With a grin on her face, he kisses her. From Ida to Sam, a look at hurricane formation and the reasons for their increasing lethality. Tucker, standing in the park, looks up at the sky and then down at a picture of Devin on his phone. Devin and Abby talk about his father's attempt to steal his company in Devin's penthouse. Her father, she quips jokingly, would never try to do anything so crazy. His mood has improved thanks to her presence. He thought things were going swimmingly until suddenly everything fell apart. It's more than just a temporary setback. He's gone as far as telling Jill he's repurchasing Hamilton Winters so he can run it according to Neil's instructions. After making so many poor decisions recently, he has decided to go with his gut. He goes on to say that Lily likened him to Victor, but she reassures him that she was just upset. Tucker sends him a message proposing a meeting. Devin is hesitant, but she insists he tell him he wants nothing to do with him directly. He then responds to McCall's text, giving her 5 minutes. Abby leaves just as Tucker enters the penthouse. McCall understands that his son may be frustrated and hurt. He sees the bad results and needs to clarify his intentions. They reflect back on when they first started dating. In his stance of defensiveness, Devin does not budge. His dad says he always tried to be a good influence, and that over time, he and his son grew very close. He thinks back to when Devin had her hearing aids removed and the song they wrote together. If they can work together again, he hopes they can remain friends and allies. That's exactly what I dreamed. He wanted them working together and Ashley as his wife. He just wanted to be able to spend his days at work with his 2 closest friends. While he agrees that his aspirations are admirable, he realizes that he will never achieve them so long as he keeps lying. Whatever his motivations may be, he is using every underhanded strategy he can think of. He hasn't changed and he's alienated him. Ashley has probably experienced the same thing. Tucker is aware of his shortcomings and the need for improvement. When he doesn't leave, Devin will tell him to. His father wants to fix things, but Devin tells him to leave town. The glum Tucker goes off by himself. Lily expresses gratitude to Daniel at Crimson Lights for listening to her ramble on and on. After a while, he jokes, he just stopped listening. They've got a lot of history of sharing with one another. She's stuck with him, for better or worse. She really hopes that isn't the case. When she sees Billy and Chelsea enter, her smile fades. While Billy sluggishly places an order, Chelsea comes over to enthusiastically greet her boyfriend's return. He says he plans to hang out for a while. She is confident Kevin will be ecstatic. Now Billy is there too. The situation is tense. Chelsea maintains idle chatter regarding Daniel's career shifts and progresses to a discussion of her own professional aspirations. While the other two are talking, Billy and Lily are staring each other down. Eventually, Chelsea ends this conversation and exits alone. Billy wishes them a good evening and leaves. Daniel exclaims, "Wow, that was very pleasant." When pressed, Lily finally admits she's having difficulties. She plans on sleeping for 7 days straight. He assures her that she can always confide in him. While at society, Adam approaches Victor and inquires as to the nature of his collusion with Kyle. His dad says they were talking about the family business. How was Adam adjusting to his new role at Jabba? He inquired of Kyle. Adam is curious about his whereabouts and activities. He knows his dad must be frustrated with him because he doesn't blindly follow orders. Victor expresses his wish that he and Connor will not have the same issues. His kid questions whether or not that's even possible. The mustache reveals that the man's own father was a jerk, and that the mustache vowed he would never turn out like his dad. Adam understands that he had to overcome adversity to get where he is today, but he is a heartless businessman who hides behind the facade of a family man to rationalize his vile actions. Victor, unsurprised by this attitude, insists that he was merely equipping him to face whatever life may throw at him. Adam says, "Whatever life throws at me, it's usually you." He tells his dad it's shameful that he's trying to use him again. This whole thing is being done for him. As far as Victor is concerned, he will never get over the fact that his mother chose to raise him on a farm instead. Again, he prays that Adam will be spared the pain he is in right now from ever having to go through this with his own son. Billy stops by society and sits at the bar even though Adam is there. After finishing his drink, Adam walks over, and the two of them mutually agree that the other is the last person they want to talk to. Billy's connection to Chelsea has allowed him to become a constant presence in the Newman's life, and the Newman is sick of it. Billy gives him a stern warning when he accuses him of using her for his own benefit. Adam persists in his demands and accuses him of enjoying the role of her savior too much. Billy immediately gets to his feet and yells at him to stop when he says that Lily can see it too. He claims that he is responsible for Chelsea's predicament. Abby steps in as they square off against each other, ranting about whether or not to aid her. Adam says goodbye after apologizing. She asks Billy what's wrong with him. It was in Chelsea's apartment that she picked up a blanket and recalled wrapping it around Billy. "It's Adam, and he's here." "What's the matter?" she inquires. Totally befuddled, he stumbles in here. "It's time for him to leave," she tells him. He agrees and says they can talk tomorrow. Check out some of the greatest primetime dramas ever in the gallery below. Note that we may earn a commission on any purchases made after following a link from this article.